our last and final fifth topic, which is how we can make the world a better place. And obviously, we've been talking a lot about COVID and how it's impacted our lives through school or through how we've been coping or our interactions with other people. But I want to talk about you guys individually, personally, because each of you guys are here because you want, like you said at the beginning, you wanted to hear each other's opinions and different perspectives from people around the world who have had different experiences, right? So I want to hear from each of you about, do you guys have a particular cause that you guys are passionate about, that you've been helping or are looking forward to making an impact in the future? Alfonso, you didn't get to answer the last question, so do you have something important that you want to talk about?
I think that with the pandemic, in my personal experience, I learned a lot uh, of the apps that we have to use to the homeworks. Before the pandemic, I don't know a lot of Word, of PowerPoint, of Excel, or Google Meet or Zoom. I don't. Before the pandemic, it's so for me it was weird. Meet with people. I otra vez. Through these apps, through computer, but we have to learn a lot of these of technological
So technology is
technological.
definitely something you're passionate about, and trying to and you've been able to learn a little bit more about stuff over the computer, and you're hoping other people will be able to, because I know this has definitely been a difficult time online for everyone. So
Yes.
yeah, so for the rest of you guys, what's something you're passionate about that you're hoping can make the world a better place as we kind of get out of this pandemic?
For me, as a quality education, I feel like everybody should be able to get a great education and have good opportunities for the future. And I think I'm very invested in this topic because in my country, many people is not very good educated, and I feel like thanks to this, like education, we can make a better future for all those children and teenagers that doesn't have a good education. So for me, is that it doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter the socioeconomic level that you have, if you can pay school or not, or your gender or your race or your culture. It doesn't matter that. It just matters that you learn and to have big opportunities for your future. So the way I want to contribute to a better future for all of us can live in is to help the needed schools around the world, I don't know, and to help their students and to have a great education and to be someone someday in their future.
Awesome, great answer. What about the rest of you guys?
Well, I agree with like what was Victoria was saying about like education, and like I feel like at least in Ireland, I feel like education is something we kind of have good here, but I know that in other countries, it's not as easy to get, and people don't get it as good. And obviously, I would like people to be able to get a good education because, like, in today's day, it's really like something you need. But I think as well, like mental health, like especially in like teenagers and with this year and all, I think it's something that like I'm passionate about, and I just think it could be improved on, and there could be more resources. And there's still like stigma about getting help and like figuring things out, or like having a mental illness or not feeling okay. And I really feel that they're like I would love to like figure out a way to properly help that and like to raise more awareness, because I feel like it is a big problem and that like it does need to be improved upon.
I would say one thing that I really have a passion for and am interested in helping out with is the environment and kind of everything that's been going on with that. For example, I care a lot about deforestation and pollution in the oceans and in our waterways. I think those are all really important issues that thankfully I think have been getting more and more addressed in the past couple of years, but I think definitely need attention. As Victoria and Hannah mentioned, definitely education I think is huge. Just giving people a pathway to education and allowing people, whoever needs to, whoever wants to, because as they said, it is a necessity for all kids. So I think that's really, really important.
Sarah, what about you? How are you trying to make the world a better place?
Like Owen, I am interested in environment too. And I was reading this book because first, I think that before I go and do something, I have to learn about this topic and everything that I can do to help and everything that I can, for example, educate people, like talk with them and tell them what I learned and why things are this way. So, for example, I was reading this Philosophy Green, his book that is about the environment with politics and all of this, because the environment it's rough. We have these issues with pollution. We have the ocean problems, but I think that first to begin, we have to start doing a local thing. So we can try to help, for example, all the world if we do not care about our neighbor, about our city. So I think that a good way to start that I'm learning to is to start with my city, with my neighbor, so that we can start here. So for example, our park, our streets, we have a lake here that is very, very dirty and have a lot of pollution. And in the past years, it was a really beautiful lake. So I think that we should start locally. So for example, volunteer for cleanups in beaches, in things here in our city. So that's what I was learning, that we have to start local to go global. So we have to take care of our garden. We have to take care of our city, of our town, so that we can help each other, other people. We have to be good to make others good too. So that's a thing that I'm really interested in.
Awesome. Great answer. So guys, I think that really brings us to the end. I think this was a great talk and I loved hearing all your guys, your voices and perspective on things. I encourage all you guys to stay in contact with each other, because all you guys can do great things in your future, and just to stay encouraged. And I encourage you to just stay invested in your community, like you said, Sarah, and start locally and hopefully grow to nationally, and just to try and make as big of an impact as you can. So I appreciate you guys for doing this talk. And Helen, if you are there and want to come back on and say your goodbyes.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. That was really, really interesting. Really, I was so excited listening to, all the different things that you talked about, and you're all really inspirational, and I'm sure you will all do great things in the future. And as Adam said, please do keep in touch, and reach out to me and Elle-Marie if we can help you in any way as well. We always want to support people in their futures and in their passions. And want to say a big thank you to Adam, who did a great job leading the conversation today as well. And yeah, take care and stay safe, and maybe one day we'll have an in-person youth summit.